Okay, this is the follow-up video to the pick we sent out last night, NWS News Corporation. Um, show you the daily real quick. You see, it gapped up today above. Remember, we had our first potential catalyst or trigger, if you will, at 1688. Well, it became a non-factor because it gapped up. I'm not a big fan of trading days the market gaps up giddy like this, so I usually there's not that much to do early because I just don't like trading when I'd rather have the market gap down. But that said, here's yesterday's close. These are 5-minute candles. What I did like about NWS is it put in a fairly narrow early 5-minute candle. Okay, 1702 low, 1716 high. That's a 14-cent range. So we called it as a break of the early high. 1717 right here. Our worst case stop was below this candle at 1708. So less than a dime risk. And from 1717, it did not stop out and ended up running to 1742. I actually took this and into this pop. But once it gives me a nickel or more, any trade, once I get a nickel or more on paper, whether or not I take some off the table, I usually don't start selling till I get a dime or more, but that's not always the case either. But I had my nickel or more on paper here. So when it came back down to my entry, this is my own personal rule, and my chat room members know about it. Um, but I still give the intelligent stop, I guess, if you will, and the stop did hold, and it gave them a nice gain. But I'm very clear that if I get a nickel or more on paper and it comes back to my entry, I kill it. A lot of flat trades that way, but I'm okay with that. One of our members did point out a nice 15s setup in this for a second entry if anyone missed the first one. You had your opening candle high, you had a lower top, and a nice narrow candle here. Let me get those lines out of the way now. So the trigger would have been the first break of a previous 15's high, which would, again, same price, 1717. A second way to play it. Worst case stop, 1709 right here. And that, had you just sat through the first, half hour or so without trading, it still gave you a subsequent setup, is the point. 1717, and then pretty much straight up after that to 1742. So certainly a nice profitable bounce here, a nice profitable trade up in this area. We always teach our members to sell some once you get a dime or more and get to a break-even stop. So this certainly paid some of our members. Again, it was a flat trade for me. Here's the daily chart again. And again, kind of has a toppy tail. The market did a pretty good round trip today. I will show you a couple others from today. ACI was very weak. Arch Coal, using one of our new methods that we've just really started using the past couple weeks. We wanted to add shorting to our repertoire. I mean, we've shorted before, but I really am kind of been long biased, just waiting, being patient, waiting for low risk, long setups. Well, shorts are actually fun too. And we call ACI short over the mic here at 2377, right about, where's my drawing tool? Using one of our new methods, called it short here, somewhere around here at 2377-ish. It's probably right about there on the daily candle. And the stop was only 14 cents above, never got hit, and it fell down to 22.84 and closed near the lows of the day. So almost $1 there on 14 cents risk for those who shorted that. I shorted it and covered as it fell. I didn't get the whole dollar, but still a nice trade for me. Get that line off there. Another example, we did play one of those crazy Chinese stocks, CAGC. I'll show you the setup here. It was basing right here below the highs of the day, and I said above this base could get going, and man, it sure did. Trigger was, let me double check this here. The high is over 27.65, and right after it triggered, it moved to 28.16, and we just started selling. That's a nice pop, and this one can move crazy. We don't usually play these kind, but the daily looked pretty good. You had very strong daily, then a sell-off. It looked like it was rolling over, but then yesterday a nice pop above these recent highs briefly, and then was strong this morning too. Again, there's the S&P, the spiders from, this is daily candle, but let's look at fives here. Look at the gap up today for the market. This S&P basically represents the entire market, the spiders. Look at this gap up from yesterday's close. Okay, pulled back, and then broke out, and then look at what it did this afternoon. So that's a round trip, and probably a sign of possibly some selling to come. I don't base our picks on that. I never look at this and say, okay, we're definitely topped now, even though it looks like a topping candle. We will still take every trade based on intraday action on setups that we find as the market unfolds. So I don't want to keep boring you here. Had a really nice day, though. Had some nice trades in there. And NWS, hopefully you made a little bit into that pop if you traded it. And we'll try to follow up next week with another free pick. Have a great night.